Hi. So, couple things. I have been getting a lot of questions about my surgery where people are asking if I got weight loss surgery and I'm just afraid to say so. No, I did not get weight loss surgery. I have said this before. I will say it again. I am freaking terrified to get weight loss surgery. It's not because of any other reason. There's another reason, but that is the number one reason because I am flipping terrified to have any part of my body cut out that needs to, any part of my body that needs to have a piece cut out, yet I still need it to function, like my stomach. It's terrifying to me. Terrifying. So no, I did not. What I had was called a histoscopy. I think I'm saying that right. Basically, a histoscopy is the name of the tool that they use. It's a long, it's like a wire, but has a flat. Hold on. So, a histoscopy is very similar to this tool. This is a magnet on the top, but just pretend that's like a flashlight, which it actually is, but I think it's dead. Yeah, it's dead. So what this is a tool. This is a magnet head with a flashlight. So if you drop like a screw or whatever, while you're working on your car, you can get into like pieces in your motor pieces. I don't know, your motor compartment, and you can reach it with this giant bendable stick. So anyways, let's pretend that this is the histoscopy. This is the pipa that they put inside of your vaginal canal, goes through the uterus, through the cervix into the uterus, and then they usually, not always, but usually will put air or gas into your uterus to expand it, to make it easier for them to do whatever it is they're going to do. Then they turn the light on and they look around, and then wherever it is that they see something, that's where they do the biopsy from. Now, mine just so happens that as they were inserting this into me, they realized that there was a gigantic fibroid, which we already knew I had fibroids. I had already gotten ultrasounds done. They knew that it was an issue. They knew I had giant fibroids that were just there. They didn't realize that one either had grown so large since the last time I had the ultrasound, like a month before, or they just didn't notice the placement. But it was incredibly large fibroid right at the like this is my canal into my uterus. And then here's this giant fibroid blocking their way. So they had to cut this guy out just so they can get all the way in. And normally they don't like to remove fibroids because they say that they have an incredibly high chance of basically regenerating and regrowing, coming back and all of that for nothing. But they had no choice with this one because they couldn't. It was blocking what they needed to do. They had to get it out of the way. But when they did that, they weren't able to get everything from its roots, because it's rooted into your uterus lining, so they can't like completely cut it out, but they cut as best as they could. So they said pieces are still dying, and as they're dying and shriveling up and coming out, then that's some of the clots that I'm getting. So when they did that, They also inserted an IUD in hopes that that would help with my abnormal periods, because no matter what, my uterus is still filled with fibroids. So I've had abnormal bleeding since I was my very first period, the day after my 9th birthday, which is coming up very, very quickly. So let me see. Math time. Yep, 34 years. I will have had a period for 34 years, coming up in like 2 weeks. 34 years. 34 years I have had incredibly painful, incredibly heavy periods. When I say heavy, I wish I would have brought some pads in so I could show you. But shopping stuff. Let's say this is a pad. And let's say this is a pad, right? They're just a pad. They're not long enough for what I deal with. So I would have to put one pad top of the other like this. They would overlap just a bit, just so that there was no gap, so that the blood couldn't seep through. But I would have 2 pads like this. And I was changing those every hour and a half to 2 hours when I was younger. And as I got older, I was having to do it about every hour. Every waking hour. And when I was asleep, I would wake up and never fail. I would have bleed throughs. My bed would have blood. My sheets, my blankets, everything. So I would sleep with a towel on the bed. I would sleep with different blankets during that time of the month, because I just really didn't want to bleed through onto our normal blanket. So oftentimes I would use a different blanket, because I didn't want to. Our blanket is so big that it doesn't fit in my washing machine. I have to go to the laundromat. So I wasn't trying to do that all the time. So I would sleep with like a throw or just a sheet. And I've been dealing with that for 34 years. I've had a lot of extra facial hair. And this has nothing to do with, well, maybe it does have to do with fibroids. I don't know. But apparently nobody ever thought to tell me you might have PCOS. Nobody ever thought to test my hormones for it. Nobody ever thought to do, ultrasounds for it. Nothing. But I have a tremendous amount of facial hair. I don't know if you can see this, but this is because I've waxed and shaved since I was like 10, because it was so bad. Like my cousins and I used to make fun of myself because I was like Elvis, like for real. Like my sideburns were like that. And you can still see a lot of it. It's just a lot thinner than it was because of the constant waxing and plucking and shaving that I do. I have a beard and a mustache that grow in multiple times a day. I'm having to, what I call a quick fix. A quick fix is quickly grabbing a razor, shaving that guy off, because literally by the end of the day, it's grown back. Oftentimes when I have a lot of time on my hands, when I know like on my day off or something, I will grab tweezers and I will pluck and pluck and pluck, and it hurts. It's uncomfortable, but I don't want a beard, so I pluck it out. And that would normally make the beard stay away for about a week. Can you imagine? Like, that's not even a long time. And the hair, the thickness is like as thick as my eyebrows. They're not as long, obviously, because I don't let them grow that long, but they're like that thick. And it's constant all the time. And nobody has ever said, this might be a problem. Instead, doctors would tell me, it's because you're overweight. If you lose some weight, then your period will normalize, become regular. When I was about 10 or 11, they told me, you need to be on your period for, it's just because your period is still so new. Wait till you've been on it for a few years. I was like, how many years are we talking? And they said, oh, probably a year or two, and then it'll stabilize. By then I had been on a year or two. When I was 14, told me the same thing. 15, 16. And I'm like, you guys do understand that I've been on my period since the day after my 9th birthday, right? The day after my 9th birthday, I started my period. It had been incredibly painful. The cramping, the kind of cramping that make you to stop in your tracks, the kind of cramping that causes extreme back pain. It radiates down to your feet, to your sides, up your back, like everywhere. Your whole body hurts from these crampings. And over the years, they've never gotten better. And everybody would tell me, it'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. Didn't get better. Never got better. Today is September 26th. I'm still bleeding. I have been bleeding since July 19th. I have not had one single day since July 19th where I have not bled. During normal cycles for me, my cycles last anywhere between 8 to 14 days. And then I can get 2 periods in a month. I've had months where I've had 2. I've had months where I didn't stop bleeding. There was at least 2 times in my life that I can recall that I sought medical attention because my period did not stop for 6 full months. And there are countless times where it was 3 months in a row. Like without a single slowdown. Every single day, just bleeding. It has not been a very fun adventure. However, I finally found a doctor who said, the first thing out of her mouth once I said those things were, do you have PCOS? And I said, I don't know. I believe that I may, but I don't know. I don't know. At that time, I didn't know there were no true tests to test for PCOS. However, what they can do is they go by your symptoms. So based on the fact that I have these abnormally heavy periods, or you can have no period, or you can have, just an abnormal period. Basically what it is it's abnormal ovulation is what they're looking for. And they base that on what your cycles are like. And since my cycle is insanely heavy and painful and insane, just period, that was one determining factor. Then they tested my hormones. So my estrogen is low, my testosterone is high, and my androgens are high. So that tells them, based with everything else, that I do have PCOS. So the treatment for PCOS is birth control, which I don't want to do, but I'm willing to do anything to make this bleeding stop at this point. So I have an IUD put in, not for birth control measures, but for period control measures. So if you also have PCOS, or you have an IUD in that is supposed to be 8 years inserted into you for birth control measures, please talk to your doctor, because the standard for an IUD when it is for period control is 5 years, not 8 years. For birth control, it's 8 years. For period control, it's 5 years. Obviously, your doctor is going to make those decisions for you. But when I was talking to mine about it, there was also a student doctor. And she would come in, she would ask me questions, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't mind anybody learning with me. I don't mind a student doctor coming in and, asking questions and those kinds of things, and being part of the visits to so they can get whatever information they need, and then they can discuss things with the doctor later and figure things out or what have you. That's how they learn. It's fine. So she came in and she was talking to me, and we were talking about the IUD, and I asked her about that. She looked at me like, but it's 8 years. I was like, yeah, but all the research that I'm doing says it's 5 years when it's period control. She was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know, but we will ask. I'll make sure to make that note, and I'll talk to the doctor about it, and she'll have more information for you. I said, okay. So she ended up telling me, yes, this is, my actual doctor was like, you're right. 5 years is the recommended time when it's for period control. However, some people do well through the whole 8 years. We don't know. But, I said, okay, well, 5 years, 8 years, that's still a really long time from now. A really long time from now. So we'll just go from there. The other treatment for PCOS is putting you on metformin. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't want to be on something else, especially when you are insulin resistant, which, telltale sign is the dark neck. Did you know? I didn't know this. I knew that this was a sign of insulin resistance, but, the dark neck I knew was a sign of insulin resistance. If it's dark neck, dark underarms, like dark joints, and it has like a different texture, like that's a sign of insulin resistance. But I did not know that PCOS, a more unknown side effect of PCOS is skin tags. I don't know if you can see that, but I have a skin tag on my neck. I had one when I was younger, like right here. You can still see the scar, actually. Actually, it might be growing back. Scary. Right here, I had one, and I cut it off. Not with like a knife or anything. Might as well have been, though. My aunt helped me tie a thread around it, and it ballooned up because it lost all its oxygen. So, I mean, if I could, I would do it back here too, but I can't do it by myself, and nobody's willing to help me. So, it lost all its oxygen, and it blew up like a balloon, and then it just fell off. And I'm like, okay. So I would totally do it to that one back there if anybody would help me, but nobody's willing to. Everybody's like, no, I'm not going to help you. Hurt yourself. It doesn't hurt. I mean, it stings when you tighten it, but I mean, I am not suggesting anybody do that. I am only saying what I did, what I would be willing to do again. But anyways, so, not everybody who has PCOS will have insulin resistance. I just so happen to also have insulin resistance. Yeah. My entire life, no one's ever said, hey, this might be something that you might want to look into. And I'm really grateful that it is finally something that I have an answer for. Although there's no cure for it. There's no relief for it. Not truly anyways. But I'm curious, if you have PCOS, what are your symptoms? What led them to understand that you had PCOS? I also have fibroids, which are not uncommon with PCOS, but they're not like, you could have one or the other or both, I just happen to have both. So the answer to your question is 50 years later, no, I did not have weight loss surgery. But if I did have weight loss surgery, I would tell you, because I don't have nothing to hide. I have no reason to pretend that I didn't do something that I did do. But again, I'm a chicken fried steak, and I'm not going to do it. So, I mean, unless I absolutely had to, I would. But I'm scared. And I don't want to. So, yeah. Just want to give you guys some digital hugs. Hear how your week has been. I have not been feeling that great this week. Just so you know, we have talked about many times about my nausea the last 2 weeks, and how I believed that I had food poisoning last Sunday, or I guess 2 Sundays ago. Yeah, 2 Sundays ago. But that nausea and that vomiting and the like achy body. And then I thought it just turned into the flu. But it's been going on almost 2 weeks now. So I went to the doctor today. They had me go and do some blood tests. I had to do an H. pylori test. I have to do a parasite test, so a stool sample. Gross. But I will say that I have recently discovered Biocare. Biocare is a protein shake that is scientifically designed. It's a scientifically designed formula. But this is actually formulated for people specifically who are using GLP-1s. This talks about semaglutide, but it's for GLP-1 users. This says when using semaglutides, in parentheses GLP-1s, it's essential to sustain lean body mass and make sure your daily nutrition is met. Biocare is a delicious nutrition beverage that is designed to work with appetite suppression medication. It helps ease digestion and minimize common side effects. And with asterisk, these are the common side effects that it says that it helps with. Biocare may help relieve some side effects associated with weight loss medications, including nausea, bloating, stomach discomfort, and constipation. Now, I will say I have not been feeling good. I have an upset stomach. I'm nauseous every single day, which is the reason why I don't think it's my Mounjaro, is because by now, like today's already Thursday, and I have not taken my shot this week because they did suggest that I not take it this week so that we can 100% determine whether or not the dose is just too strong for me, because I went from no side effects to all of a sudden this. So, I have not taken it, and I still am feeling it. When I did take it, it was not until 4 days later that I had thought I gotten food poisoning. And, most of us know that the side effects start anywhere between 12 and 48 hours. They don't usually start 4 days later. So I don't believe that that's what's causing this, but I don't know. Anything is possible. So we are running some other tests to see if it's something else. Could just be a simple bug. I could just have like a prolonged, like flu-like bug that just, is lasting longer than the normal, week. But I will say, I used this the other day. This one only has 7 pouches. They have different sets or bundles, I guess. And this one has 7. This flavor is chocolate. And they recommend that you use it with a shaker cup. And it's with 6 ounces of cold water to a shaker cup, add powder, shake vigorously until dissolved, and enjoy. But if you're going to hand stir, they suggest 8 ounces, an 8-ounce glass, add 6 ounces of water, mix until dissolved, and serve. And you can add ice if you want. I will say, I took this the other day, and within 10 to 15 minutes, my nausea was gone. It was gone. And I was like, wow, okay. I couldn't take it today before my appointment because I had to be fasting just in case. So I didn't take anything. But I did take another one today. And I do feel like my nausea is a lot better. So I was able to get a discount code for you guys, and I will link it down below. Okay, so if you use the following discount code or coupon code, you can go onto biocarenutrition.com, and then once you purchase whatever it is that you're purchasing, not on a subscription, but just on a regular purchase, you can put in the promo code Lala from Salas, and I'll show you right here. Or there'll be a direct link in the description if you want to check it out. But it will give you 15% off your entire order. And that's pretty awesome. Now, the reason why I decided to try it was because it is specifically formulated for people who are on GLP-1s. So it makes perfect sense to try it, right? I mean, I have a protein shake every single day with my coffee. Every single day. I did not use coffee with this one that I had yesterday and the one that I had today. I just drank it by itself because of the stomach discomfort that I'm having. I haven't had coffee. So, if you want to check it out, I highly suggest you do. They have a few new flavors even. They have chocolate, they have mixed berry, there's strawberry. They now have salted caramel. And I'm looking forward to trying new flavors. But I haven't needed anything for like symptom relief because I haven't had any until now. So I'm like, but if you are suffering with some of these digestive issues, it even talks about how it helps relieve lack of energy. I mean, I know a lot of people suffer with energy loss when they take their shots. So if that's something you suffer with, I would highly suggest that you at least look at it. Take a look. See if it's something that you're interested in, because I was not expecting, I really wasn't expecting to be, I just wasn't expecting the result that I got, like 10, 15 minutes, like, and then I wasn't nauseous anymore. And I've been nauseous for 2 freaking weeks almost. On Sunday, it'll be 2 weeks. That's just a few days from now. And it's like, that nausea was gone. And that was awesome. So, I hope you guys are having a great week. I really, really look forward to seeing, all of your successes, all of your struggles, all of your everything in the comments down below, because I want to be that shoulder for you. I want to support you the way that you support me. Because let me tell you, from somebody who doesn't have physical people around here who give me that support, you guys really mean the world to me. I literally have no one here but David. No one. Not physically. And I see you guys as that physical support for me and the emotional support and, digital support. And I want to be that for you. So I will see you guys soon and we'll go from there. Bye.